In a world where information is vital to every individual, a platform where technology is a medium to pass information, you can always catch up on all information written in the newspapers, even without having one. Join us on The Press.
Reaching live from the Abuja studios.
On The Punch for this morning. The Blueprint newspaper, Nigerian Tribune this morning.
As we give you information and opinions about current events and topical issues on politics, business, sports, entertainment, weather forecasts, and lots more in the local city, across all states, and across all countries. Showing daily on Star Times, Channel 124, 9 a.m. West African time, only on Kaftan TV. Stay connected with us.
That he said it is a reason why I will not do it.
I pursue the federal government to pay us our damages.
YouTube, Kaftan TV.
A very tricky one. And then the bottom line is this.
Website www.kaftan.tv.
Point is, the youth must come together. The pendulum can swing in your favor.
Instagram, Kaftan_TV. Kaftan TV. Imagine a beautiful world.
Yes, welcome back. If you just joined us, it is The Press, and I'm glad to let you know that my guests are right here beside me as we begin our conversation this morning. Again, you indeed know that our focus this morning is on our late President, Muhammadu Buhari, as today is expected to be interred in Daura, as we expect his arrival at 12 p.m. and his interment at 2 p.m. Tinubu, our president, and world leaders are expected to be in Daura to give their last honor to one of Nigeria's greatest. And my guests are right here as we take a look at his legacies as a president. This morning, let me do the introduction. They are not new to our set. They've become friends to the house. My far left, I want to welcome Suleiman Salihu Abdullahi. Dr. Suleiman Salihu Abdullahi, PhD, is a media and leadership consultant and a public affairs analyst with several degrees in different fields of discipline. He is a senior citizen who has worked across various fields with tremendous wealth of experience. Welcome to The Press as we take a look at the legacy of our late president. It's so nice to have you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being with you.
Yes, indeed. And of course, we have another friend to the house, is Duke Alamboye. He is the Green Assembly Initiative convener and of course, national leader, Nigeria Youth Organization. Is a comrade. It's so nice to have you this morning once again.
Thank you very much, and good morning, Nigerians.
Yes, indeed. You just came back from a very far travel,
Yes.
and of course, you honor our call as we
much.
take a look at the legacy as this era comes to an end. Okay, so in case you do not know, Tinubu has set up a committee to ensure that all things go well during this period in Daura. And look at the list of those who made it: Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Honorable Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Honorable Minister of Defense, Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Honorable Minister of Works, Honorable Minister of Interior, Honorable Minister of the FCT, Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, and the list just goes on. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Political and Other Matters, Inspector General of Police, Director General, Department of State Services, DSS, Chief of Defense Staff, the Office of the Permanent Secretary General, Services Office. I take that again, the Office of the Permanent Secretary General Services Office, GSO, will serve as the Secretariat. to the committee. So is a whole lot going on right now in Daura as we bid our late president farewell. Remember, Buhari died in the UK on the 13th of this month, and immediately then happened Shetima, our vice president, and of course Femi Gbajabiamila all went to receive his body in the UK as they joined his wife Aisha Buhari, in that very, very crucial time. All right, my guests are already here, and today, like I said, we're taking a look at the legacy of our late president, and I would want to start with you, Abdullahi, as you let us get your feel, when you first heard about, the incident in the UK when we lost our president.
I got the information with mixed reaction. We have lost a leader of the older generation that would have been the last man standing for what our founding fathers believe Nigeria should be. You see, when I got the information, I felt he has given his best as a leader, as a former military head of state, as a general in the military, and as a civilian president. And we like it or not, in the military there's what we call model. He has his role model in the military up to today. In 2011, I was with one of the general. He is M.A. Yusuf. He was the GCON of the Nigeria infantry. He commanded about 40% of the Nigerian military. He said Buhari is his role model. So you see, at that level, that is 2011, and he wrote that in one of our, magazine of that set in NDA. And of course, I have come very close to the family because the fourth lady, then Aisha Buhari, was my classmate in NDA, 2011. So I have spoken with the late Head of State one-on-one. He is a man that I said, a man with vision. And he is always optimistic to make his dream as a leader being practical and realistic. But along the line we discuss his weakness, because as a human being you have your strength and weakness. So we will look at them all encompassing and analyze them from leadership point of view, as a former head of state, as a former governor, as a civilian head of president. You understand now? So you said it is the end of an era. Most people don't understand Buhari, even among his associates, among his immediate family members. They don't know who is Buhari. But I will tell you, looking at his history, my practical engagement, knowing Buhari one-on-one, and how I internalize his lifestyle from my own perspective as a student of leadership and international study, I will tell you, we have come to an end of an era.
Indeed. So we'll take a pause there. Yes, if you just joined us, it is the press, and this is how we start as we take a look at the legacy of our late president. So I want to ask Duke, you heard Abdullahi give his own take on his emotions when he heard about the demise of our late president. I want to ask you the same question. Where were you and how did you receive the news?
Well, Let me use the word of the late president. It came as a shock. These are always his words when it's on national issues. Well, yeah, I agree. We've lost a Nigerian. We've lost someone who is patriotic. We've lost someone who has risen from a point to another point. Throughout Buhari's lifetime, I think he has been involved in leadership at one level or the other. Even at the time, he gave a lot of space and then came back on board. A man that has been so resilient, wanting to govern. I think one of the politicians that ran, contested for the presidency for so long, and at last he got it before God is taking him off. It's a shock. In what's the morning is the patriot, like I said, a man that believes in what he wants to achieve and all of that. So from the perspective of losing a Nigerian, from the perspective of losing a leader, yeah, we've lost a hero. And again, it came as a shock because death do not knock on the doors. It comes on whenever it wants to come. 2 days to this time, I think the spokesman that did a book launch, what's his name again?
Garba
Shehu was on air, and I think in your mother, one of your sister station, and he was asked about the health of the president, and he gave Nigerians the assurance that the president is recovering. So again, these are one of the lies that Nigerians eat. If the information was contrary or the other way around, Nigerians are very prayerful people. Although we don't hold the clock of the hand, yes, but I think the perception and the mood would have been different today. When you come on television to say the president we hear that is sick, hospitalized, critically sick and hospitalized, is recovering, whereas it was a worse situation. These are the issues. These are the people around the man.
Okay, so at this time, I want us to take 1 minute of silence to pray for the repose of his soul. Gentlemen, let us take a minute as we bow our heads. Yes, indeed. If you just joined us, this is as we take a look at the end of an era. We take a look at the legacy of our late president. To help us push this discussion further, we'll take a package remembering Tinubu, and when we come back, more. Stay with us.
Muhammadu Buhari was a Nigerian retired politician and military general who served as the president of Nigeria from 2015 to 2023. Born on December 17, 1942 in Daura, Katsina State, Nigeria, he rose through the ranks of the Nigerian army, becoming a major general and serving as the military head of state from December 31st, 1983 to August 27th, 1985. Buhari's early life was shaped by his Fulani heritage and Islamic upbringing. His father, Malam Hado Adamu, was a Fulani chieftain, and his mother, Zulahat, instilled in him strong moral values. After his father's death when Buhari was 4, his mother raised him. He attended Quranic School, Katsina Provincial Secondary School, and later the Nigerian Military Training College. Buhari joined the Nigerian Army in 1961 and underwent training at the Nigerian Military Training College and the Mons Officer Cadet School in the UK. He played a role in several military coups, including the 1966 counter-coup, and served as commander of the 2nd Infantry Battalion, Brigade Major of the 2nd Sector 1st Infantry Division, Federal Commissioner for Petroleum and Natural Resources, Chairman of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. Buhari's presidency was marked by efforts to combat corruption, improve security, and boost the economy. Some notable initiatives include anti-corruption efforts, implementing policies to improve transparency in government, security initiatives tackling insurgency in the northeastern region, economic development, promoting infrastructure development and agricultural productivity. His first marriage was with Safinatu Yusuf in 1971, divorced 1988. His second marriage was with Aisha Buhari in 1989. He had 10 children, 5 from each marriage. Buhari was known for his simple and disciplined lifestyle, preferring traditional attire and living modestly. Muhammadu Buhari passed away on July 13, 2025 at the age of 82 in London, UK, where he was receiving medical treatment. His presidency had a significant impact on Nigeria, and his legacy continues to shape the country's politics. Meanwhile, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has announced the passing of his predecessor, President Muhammadu Buhari. In a statement signed by the Special Advisor to the President, Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, President Buhari died on Sunday in London at about 4:30 p.m. following a prolonged illness. The statement states that President Tinubu has spoken with Mrs. Aisha Buhari, the former president's widow, and offered his deep condolences. President Tinubu has also ordered Vice President Kashim Shettima to proceed to the United Kingdom to accompany President Muhammadu Buhari's body back to Nigeria. President Tinubu has declared 7 days mourning and further ordered flags at half-staff as a mark of respect for the departed leader. I profoundly mourn the passing of our former President and General, Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, who died yesterday in London, UK. I offer prayers of comfort to his family and all Nigerians. I pray for Allah to forgive him all his shortcomings and grant him in Al-Jannatul Fadr. Amen. Suma Ami Ekaite Ibot Kaftan TV.
Yes, we're still here, and thanks for being there watching the show as we take a look at the legacy of our late president. You actually saw that. I got carried away before the package as I was talking about remembering the late president. Before, or while the package was going on, I was discussing with my guest, and I said I had this huge opportunity to meet with Buhari once upon a time at Jimoh Ibrahim's birthday in Lagos, where we had lots of dignitaries. I met him at the poolside, and I've never met someone so shy. I was myself, my friends and colleagues, we actually wanted to approach him, but we could feel that aura, that he was so shy. He couldn't really take, he was so on his own that we were all caught off guard. I just could not believe this was Buhari. Eventually he became the president not long after, but that imagery, that picture, that encounter with him before he became the president, stayed with me all through till the last days. And when we talk about his legacy, and of course we'll talk about things we've heard and seen before, during, and after, one tend to reflect on certain issues, that we've heard. And for me as a Nigerian, I try to balance that encounter, of course, of the man Buhari and the man Buhari, the president, and of course, after service. So I want to go back to you, Abdullahi, because when you started, you did say that you like other Nigerians, you showered this man with so much encomium and tribute. But again, you talked about the flip side, that there's always two sides to a coin. You can't talk about one without the other. So we're taking a look at his legacy, and of course we broke it down as a head of state, and of course coming back to become the president of the nation. So let's take a look at his legacy from your perspective.
If you look at it immediately after the independence in 1960, he was one of the military personnel that stand tall and fought for the unity of this country, because he joined the military in 1964. He was born in 1942, 17 December. And if you look at Buhari critically, when he was the governor of the northern eastern state, before the creation of Borno, he was extremely doing well. And after the creation of Borno state, he was the first military governor of Borno state. He was instrumental to laying the foundation of the development, infrastructural development we are seeing today in Borno state. And Borno state was the core engine room of the northeast. Then coming to under President Muhammad Buhari, he was a GCU that was in charge of battalion that look between the border of Nigeria and Chad when we have issues. He have advanced, when he was given the commandment, he advanced towards entering Chad before he was alerted and brought back. He is a soldier to the core. And when he means a deal as a military, he means a deal. He don't compromise it. That is number one. Number two, he was a soldier that, look, he believes in his own principle, regardless, as a soldier, regardless of the file and ranking in soldier, in military or authority. Because there was one time when he was asked to open the border between Nigeria and Nigeria, he closed it. He said no. Let them feel the pinch of the pain, what it means to respect the sovereignty of other nations, until he was forced before the border was opened. Let's come to it. When he took over power, the military coup of General Muhammad Buhari in 31st December 1983, when he overthrew, and believe me honestly, this man was not among the coup plotters.
He wasn't.
He wasn't. He was in Jos. But after the whole success story, hey, look, who can we brought in? They brought Buhari in to stabilize the whole thing. And no, look, he's a fearless, somebody that can give us what we want. And they look around, they brought a Diabo as a pillar that can give him the support. And believe me honestly, they move fine to have a teamwork. And he believes in his subordinate. He is somebody, when he gives you assignment, he doesn't look back to check. That's one of his weakness. He somewhat believed in Tunde Diabo, and Tunde Diabo was the one doing most of the running of that government regime at that time. And what happened? I will give you a very sensitive story that happened between this President Muhammad Buhari and the last also his brother, General Ibrahim Babangida. There was, when he was the head of state, there was a serious underground discussion issues between these two families. And they believe that they have come so much a long way that Buhari should have overlooked the case against the family of, allegedly against the family of IBB. But he said, no, this is the rule of the law. This is what we said. Whoever has fall victim should be treated equal with any other person. I think at the point of giving judgment, that is when also General Ibrahim Babangida established his own coup and took over the government from Buhari.
We're going to take a pause from there. We'll take a pause. We're going to come back again from the point that you stopped with the coup with that brought in
General Ibrahim Babangida.
General Ibrahim Babangida. So I can give Duke the opportunity to come in and have a say. I have to take a look at this leader who will be joining his ancestors, or will be laid to rest today. He has joined his ancestors, will be laid to rest today, because like we said when we started, Daura is the focal point right now and all road leads there. But again, we're taking a look at his legacies. We've had a very wonderful groundwork by Abdullahi, and now I want to give Duke the opportunity to let us into his mind on the legacies of Buhari.
Okay, well, I want to discuss the legacies of Buhari in two dimensions.
Okay.
Firstly, I want us to look at Buhari as a person.
Okay.
Buhari as a human being. I think, with all fairness to him, is, like I earlier said, a patriotic Nigerian, a leader. We can't take the humility away from Buhari, as you rightly illustrated. He was not shy, but that's how the humility in him, that's how it is. During the elections, his first tenure, I also had the opportunity to see him when we visited Jerry Ghana. I think they stayed close in Aso, a place called Aso in Abuja. So it was an opportunity for me to also, when I led a Southern group during the election, I had the opportunity to meeting with him. Yes, his words is soft-spoken and very objective. So he had given us the mandate to go and vote, not even for him. He said we have a choice to make. But if we vote for him, it will turn Nigeria to a better place that we all envisaged. So looking at his personality, you can't take it away from him. Very objective man, a man that believes in what he wants to do, a man that is so humble, soft-spoken, and all of that. So I also want us to look at Buhari as a leader, political and a social leader. So history taught us that during the era of Buhari and Idiagbo, history has taught us that that regime was characterized also with what we experienced now. So we have people will say it gives responsibility and then allows you to work. But again, there's a sense of thought that says he who gives responsibility must checkmate the outcome of those responsibilities. Else the outcome becomes his, not the executor. Because you give out responsibility, you have to ensure that. So we all knew, I was not born at the time, but we all heard in history how the Buhari and the Diagbon's regime was. It gave indiscipline. Buhari was more very vocal when it comes to being disciplined, mostly regards to adherence to state laws and national laws. He was very good at that. Then let's come to development. This is where I think the issues are. Let's come to enhancement. This is where I think the issues are. Let's come to, he believes in one Nigeria. He believes in one Nigeria, however you want to look at it. Okay, but all those were characterized with military regime. We saw our leader yearning to become a democratic leader, where the terrain was or is quite different. And after a long time, Nigerians were looking for, again, that leader that will lead us out of the menace we are facing. The developmental strides of Nigeria was sloping down, and then Nigerians were eager. Who is this person? Who is this leader? Who is this Nigeria? Who is this patriot that will pull us out of where we are going? Don't forget, at the time, this woman, what's her name? I think she's in Ekunjo-Iweala, the one in a international front now. She was minister. She was minister at the time. She was crying that, look, the way Nigeria is going, we are running into this situation. We're looking at that. And then politicians that believed, that saw its antecedents, Nigeria needed discipline to adhere to issues. And then politicians rallied around him. He won election and he came into power. And disappointingly, if there's a word like this, Nigerians felt more hardship. When Buhari came to government, the body language of what we've heard in history, people that were alive. I know my mother personally told me that this man during that area was a strict, the strictness was towards everybody, and people felt that that strictness is what was going to drop on board. That was the only integrity that brought him to power. And people were looking back, a man that is strict would follow due process in everything to ensure that this nation survives. Looking at his age again, what has he to lose if he made this country become a golden country in Africa and an exemplary to the world? But then, in my own opinion, he failed.
Okay, yes, indeed. That is my second guest's point of view as we take a look at the legacy of our former President Muhammadu Buhari. We'll take another short break to bring you another president's tribute to the late president, and we're talking about former President Olusegun Obasanjo. And when we return, the phone lines will be opened so you too can have your say as we bid our former president farewell. We'll take that report and we'll be right back.
About Muhammadu is that he tried his best. My prayer is that God will forgive him of his inadequacies and accept him into his kingdom. It's a loss to the nation, because at a time like this, we need the totality of the experience and what I may call statesmanship of all those who have had the opportunity to run the affairs of this country in the past to get us out of the situation we are in. He will be sorely missed, and may his soul rest in perfect peace.
Yes, indeed, that's for another former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, paying tribute to the late Muhammadu Buhari. Yes, if you just joined us, it is the press as we take a look at the legacies of our late president, Muhammadu Buhari, as is interred today in Daura. Before the break, my guest, Duke, was actually giving us his own take on the matter, away from what Abdullahi did tell us this morning. But again, there's a lot to learn, you know, when you talk about a time past, a time present, and of course a look at the future. And this is such moment, and the reality of it is one that is close to our hearts as we discuss these issues this morning. Duke actually, you know, went to the other side telling us about the wins and the losses. And we're going to start on that foot by taking a look at what is to be learned from the losses, as it were. And Abdullahi will be helping us understand that. Again, we're taking a look at legacies, and there is no way you talk about the legacy of a man without learning from the stories that they tell. Now, Abdullahi, you did hear what Duke said as we paid tribute to late former president. We have, as a man, there's so much great things to talk about, But again, when we talk about leadership, is a different terrain, because in leadership, you stand in front and you have people move with you. You have to delegate authority to people and step aside to see them do the work. Like Duke again said, you cannot determine how it will go, but it is your right as the one who has delegated to take a look at what is being done, so what is right is being done. There's a lot to learn, and that is what we want to take a look at right now. We talk about leadership, we have leaders today. Moments like this will ginger and bring our hearts to a point where we know that one day our stories will be told. So, what are the lessons to be learned from the life and legacy of Buhari?
Still yet, I'll tell you, among his, some of his legacies, he was the first Commissioner General of NNPC, and later he became the chairman of NNPC. He have achieved so much in uniform as a military officer, as a general, as a head of state. But looking at his political involvement in Nigerian democracy is all a different ball game. He came with the mantra of change in Nigeria, and that was when Nigerians were in their need of change. And the mantra of change in Nigerian politics was used for the first time, and I wouldn't have said they used it to cajole Nigerians. At that time he was a realist. He meant what he was saying and what he was doing. But if you look at it, at the end of the whole game, to cut the story short, he got it wrong.
So yes, we'll just take a pause to take our first call. Abdullahi, I beg your pardon. We'll take our first call. Good morning. What's your name, please, and where are you calling from? Go ahead, please.
Well, we are very sorry. We are mourning the legends of Nigeria. Buhari, somebody who should today, but at the end, we are expecting that government is doing it, who tell a lot of development and discipline at the high end of the best. Instead of, as we are part of that, we all mourning the one another. Instead of legislative, we are instead of.
Okay, thank you so much. So there you have the caller. He says Buhari failed us.
Yes.
So continue, please.
Just like I said, we're on the same terrain with the last caller. He actually got it wrong. How? You see, one thing for you to be a military head of state is a different thing for you to be a democratically elected president. It's two narrations from two different perspectives.
Okay.
You understand now?
Yes.
So now, again, the excellent performance we have seen from Buhari as a military officer, as a general, as a, former head of state, is an opposite of when he was a civilian president. Why? Because that age is no longer in him. The strength he used when he was in PTF is no longer in him. For him, that we call monitoring and evaluation of what? Of assignment, project, and appointment given to individual that will subordinate for you and represent you are not there to be checkmate. That is number one. You have to leave when the ovation is high, because at that age, 82 years, when he came, at the age of 70 something years, 72, when he came back, he was weak. Had challenges. As a former head of state, as a retired military general, you have some tears and wears that you are supposed, as a human being, go back, relax with your family. But he came into the podium politically at this national level. So the whole thing goes down. Look, he couldn't get it well. Let me tell you, the appointment during his two tenure as a president was not to his own advantage.
Well, not to his own advantage. We'll continue on that line of discourse as we take another call. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Collins from Benue State.
From where?
Benue State.
Okay, please, Collins, go ahead.
analysis in the studio. Now, in terms of this leadership of a thing, it's not that they need your strength. It's not a battle. It's either written or by pronouncing a word. There are people that are there in your command to take certain things. Let me just go straight to the democratic aspect of Nigeria now. If you look to it now, democracy has finally failed. It's not working. Okay, let's look to just the little local government election that took place in Lagos. If you look to it now, it's because democracy has failed. Formally, let's look back to PDP in their old days. You see that when they do local government election in my place, you see different parties winning councillors, winning chairmen and all whatnot. But it has come to the ideology now that when any government is in power, all the old chairmen will come from their party. Is it working?
So that's a big question. Is democracy working in Nigeria? The question is best answered individually. It's a one man, one answer question, and it takes the whole of us as Nigerians to make democracy work in the nation. We have another call, and let us quickly take that call. Good morning.
Good morning, ma.
Yeah, what's your name, please, and where are you calling from?
My name is Musa Bindema. I'm calling from Mina.
Okay, Musa, go ahead.
Good morning to your audience there.
Good morning.
Today, in my life, you are in my life right home. In the soul of my president, right from Pakistan. I'm telling to the old Muslim woman, for those that are happy for the death of the former president. This is an unfortunate act for a Muslim to do so. It's not an act of any Muslim to celebrate the death of a Muslim or a non-Muslim. This is a president that does his best to benefit the life of rich and poor citizens of this country. I will testify for that. I am one of the beneficiaries of this government. The Empower program that was being introduced by the former president, I was one of the beneficiaries of this program. Whenever I went into my house, those are things that I use the money that I gained from this program.
Okay.
We are still present in my house.
Okay, that's all we can take from that call. We'll take a short break and take our next package, and when we return, more for you. Stay with us.
Adewale Adebayo, the 2023 presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party (SDP), has paid tribute to former President Muhammadu Buhari following his passing. Adebayo offered prayers of comfort to Buhari's family and the entire Nigerian nation, acknowledging the former president's legacy and service to the country. The Minister of Police Affairs, Senator Ibrahim Gaidam, has extended his heartfelt condolences to the government and people of Nigeria, especially the Buhari family, on the passing of former President Muhammadu Buhari. The minister acknowledged the profound contributions Buhari made to the country and the lasting impact of his leadership. Gaidam noted that Buhari's legacy will endure through his unwavering dedication and tireless effort to serve Nigeria. He highlighted Buhari's foresight in prioritizing national security, including the re-establishment of the Ministry of Police Affairs and vital funding for fuel supplies for police operational vehicles. The Minister of Women Affairs, Suleiman Ibrahim, also expressed heartfelt condolences, describing his departure as a profound loss not only to his family, but also to the nation he served with dedication and commitment. Iman highlighted Buhari's commitment to the development of Nigeria and its people, particularly in promoting initiatives that advance the welfare of women and children. She recognized the strides made under his administration in empowering women and advocating for gender equality. The minister remembered Buhari for his resilience, focus on national integrity, and a vision he had for a prosperous Nigeria, which will continue to inspire future generations. She urged Nigerians to reflect on the values Buhari championed and honor his memory through acts of unity and service to the country. The Southern Governors Forum (SGF) has also extended its condolences to the nation following the passing of former President Muhammadu Buhari. The forum described his death as a great loss to the country and acknowledged his dedication to public service and national development. In a statement, the SGF highlighted Buhari's commitment to promoting democracy, stability and unity, and called on Nigerians to honor his legacy by striving for the ideals he championed. Victoria Ayoride, reporting for Captain TV.
Yes, welcome back. Thanks for being there, watching the show as we pay our tribute to our late former President Muhammadu Buhari. Right here on set, we're taking a look at his legacy as the curtain falls, as it were. I want to go straight on now to Duke, my other guest in the house. Rising from or taken from what Abdullahi said. There's this reference to Buhari as the head of state. We'll talk about, you also said it, the era of the war against indiscipline. Now, let me try and give you, for those of you who were not born at that time, I was, though a young girl, but for the very first time as a Nigerian, that memory is hashed in my mind. When you talk about the war against indiscipline, you get to the marketplace, you get to the bank, you get to the bus station or terminal, you see, without being prompted, Nigerians will queue up and do the needful. You do not drop paper or litter the streets as a Nigerian without being prompted. It was something that was accepted as our new culture as a people, and that you can attribute to the time Buhari and Idiagbon were in power. Let me tell you something, as a Nigerian, I speak for myself. We've never attained that type of discipline as a nation up till date. Again, we'll take a look at Buhari as the president. A different era from when he was the head of state. Is a different person. It's more like a metamorphosis, more like an evolution of the man. We cannot talk about the good without taking a look at the other. We've had people called in. Now, a lot of expectation as the head of state. You yourself said it right here that, and again, buttressing what Abdullahi said, that the mantra, the change mantra, for the first time came during his time, and Nigerians were taking a look at his antecedent, and at that moment we were like, oh, we needed a change as Nigerians. We needed something new and different. Who else would give it? I want you to take a look at Buhari as the president and not as a head of state. And of course, what is your take on the man?
Okay, like I earlier said, the head of state era could work because they have absolute supreme leaders. They are supreme leaders. What I mean by that they don't have any checkmate. The words of the military junta are laws. Buhari transited into the presidential system of government and felt that could hold. It didn't hold. Like I said, the only thing that rallied around him was that integrity, that firmness, which Nigerians felt that he will bring into the presidential system. So even though there are other indices that may drag him down, but he has the right to constitutionalize issues. But we saw a different game. You saw the callers that called. I was saying that he failed us. He was the leader. He was the president. Everything stops at his desk or on his desk. So, first of all, the first time we had ministerial lacuna, executors, he has won election for almost 6 months or so. Ministers are not appointed. So it immediately dropped down the morale of Nigerians, because we're looking at a man that will just come in, of course, with that change mantra, a leader that will just come in and things begin to have its effect. That was what Nigerians were expecting. But that immediately the body language, the politician tested they tested him and saw that they could penetrate him. and heavily. Nigerians went into tough indebtedness, worst type of infrastructure development. The economy grappled more and more during this season. He sat and watched even the fight for corruption that we thought at least if he had put in strength into the fight for fighting corruption within the political circle. We wanted to see people executed, wanted to see people jailed, so that it would form it would be a deterrent to others. But all of these failed woefully, and Nigerians are reaping those failures of the 8 years of Buhari today. That is why, if you look very well, for now, I have not been able to judge the present government. I still believe that the present government are still, because the transition is still within party line. Had it been PDP came in now, you would have heard a lot of things outside. But because it is still APC, a lot is being covered. And this government is rather, you know,
is a pile-up.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's take a call, Duke.
Yes.
Hello. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Collins from Benue.
Calling to call before. You're calling again.
I don't know why.
You have 1 minute. You have 1 minute.
Yes.
So we're giving 1 minute to all our callers today.
Let me just be brief now.
Okay, be brief.
It's not just Buhari. Hello?
Go ahead, Collins.
It's not just Buhari. Let's take it that democracy has failed. This present government has failed. Our politicians, they have failed. If we really wants to make it clear, just like the governors, they have tenure, let all the political positions have tenures, right from the Senate, the House of Rep, down to the governor, down to the House of Assembly. If there are tenures, somebody might be looking up to do good. All the whole thing has failed. Let's be sincere to ourselves. Look at Naira to dollar now. Look at our fuel. You are going to the farm, you can't even buy fuel to fuel your bike to go to the farm. Let's just be frank, it's not just Buhari. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Collins.
Okay, let me even take it from the perspective Collins is looking at it. Democracy cannot fail. Look, democracy is tested, trusted, and surviving in countries where the leaders are following the tenets of democracy. It's not democracy. It is the people, the set of people we are bringing into powers. It's about the electoral system. It's about the initial process of bringing who into power. I said that at a time when the Goodluck Jonathan regime was nosediving. Nigerians needed the fundamental issue people perceived with Jonathan is that he was not firm. So Nigerians looked at, this nation need a firm leader. I still take it back. I still give it to Obasanjo. Even though some of his policies and actions were, how will I call it, were one-sided or were where it favors him, but that kind of firmness, Obasanjo set a pace that Jonathan lowered a little, and in lowering it, it was affecting the economy. They were going down. Nigerians needed a leader with a firm attitude to push it up, and the source for Buhari.
Okay, let's take a call, Duke. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name, please, and where are you calling from?
I'm Matthew. I'm coming from Dokoja.
Okay, Matthew, go ahead.
I would like to add to what is going on here now is that one, Buhari loves Nigeria. Most of the problem is that people are talking about is because of his love for Nigeria. Nigeria needs tough decisions. Buhari refused to take it. Now look at where we are now. Tinubu is taking those difficult decisions, and we are still blaming him. So what do Nigeria want? Buhari is a welfarist. If he had removed all these fuel subsidy and the rest when he was alive, it would have been worse now. Look at what Tinubu is going through. Nigeria will continue to blame their leaders, whether they take the right decisions or not.
Okay, so I want us to take a pause a little bit as I go to Abdullahi. Let us take a look at his wife, Aisha. To me, it came as a very strange occurrence. for me, that's my personal take. If you recall, Aisha actually sent a message to Nigerians saying that her husband, that the late president, while on his sickbed, did ask Nigerians for forgiveness. That statement has been trending in the past 2 days, and I want us to take a look at that statement from the wife of the late president, asking Nigerians for forgiveness. She insisted that her husband tell Nigerians and the world that they forgive him. Again, we've had calls coming. We're taking a look at his legacy. Let us take a pause to actually analyze that request from the wife of the late president. Abdullahi, I really do want your take on this.
You see, Aisha Buhari, as my classmate in NDA 2011, she has a man's heart. Because then we discussed politics, and I told her her husband will become the next president. And she was so surprised. How could it happen? So they are still coming and telling him to come out, telling him one thing or the other politically. He still have the opportunity to change this country. But I don't see he's coming. But I said, look, he's coming. But when it eventually comes, she stands by him and believes in his principle, except the issue when Mr. President then said she belongs
to the other room. And that caused a lot of flack. Yes.
You understand now? So this is a woman that have stand for you. She's really fighting for you, key into your dreams and mission. You understand? Politically, she has been all over there. Let me tell you the truth about it. Aisha Buhari will call me 1 o'clock to discuss critical issue on elections. I'm telling you the truth. She has done a lot of work on the ground, and she deserves to be respected for that. She stands for President Muhammad Buhari, even though they have a lot of a crisis during that period. It was not her. Let me be sincere with you, and it was not Buhari. It was the people around Buhari that make that crisis to be beyond manageable size within the family. Let me be sincere with you, because I said it. Buhari was weak then. He's not the Buhari we know. And let me tell you, take it from other point of view. Aisha Buhari have stand for the female gender. She want to establish what an institution for the women within that cycle, but she was not allowed to do that. You understand? At the end, she have to give a look. She spoke my mind. People have heard my voice and let me stand and also observe how it's going to end. And it doesn't end well. If you look at it, during that tenure, that period, Buhari stand for a particular class of people. Just like if you look at Obasanjo administration and what the class of people that brought Obasanjo in thought he's going to play their card. But Obasanjo disappointed them positively in the interest of what? National interest. But Buhari came in for the masses. Masses brought in Buhari, the Nigerian, because they are in their need of change. And they contributed for the first time in the history of Africa. They contributed money for his election. We believe that, look, he don't have money. I contributed, everyone contributed. So now what happened? At the end, he allowed this mission to be hijacked by some unwanted individual for their own selfish interests, not believing in the dreams of President Muhammad Buhari. But he thought they were with them because they were his press figures, and they told him, we believe in your dream, in your mission and vision to turn around things in Nigeria. And let me tell you finally, if you look at it, there is this book, Season of Migration.
Please, let's, Abdullahi, I'm so sorry I'm cutting you off mid-sentence. Let's take this call and we'll go back to you when we're through. Yes, hello, good morning. What's your name, please, and where are you calling from? Go ahead. What's your name?
I'm calling from Anambra.
What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Reverend Anako.
Please, Reverend, go ahead.
Yes. Please, I like the contribution of Mr. Abdullahi. What he's saying actually is what happened. Nigerians voted massively for Buhari, but at the end of the day, he allowed the people around him to hijack the government.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's our caller from Anambra. Yes, please go ahead.
There's a book we call, Seasons of Migration to the North. The people contributed money and sponsor one of their, their sons to go to, Europe and study the Western way of education. So that by the time he came back, he will be able to tell them, tell them the Western way of life and be a perfect somebody, a perfect, the civilized environment. That is what we, sieved that look, we are sending Buhari, we the masses, down through the, you understand now, the Nigerians, that look, Buhari is going to stand for us, and we did everything, we sponsor him. But at the end, he went there to learn it, but he failed. Why did he fail? He belongs to them because some of those files were being hijacked. You understand now? The issue of corruption was not handled. You understand now? The issue of insecurity was not tackled as expected. It ended up becoming a source of enriching some people for their own aggrandizement and for their own selfish interest. So with this, I am telling Nigerians, and particularly Mr. President today, at Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he should take a branch from this and learn that, look, you must give what it takes, because as we are saying it, we are mourning him because we are civilized human beings. We in this arena here today, we are discussing Buhari from progressive and objective point of view, but there are those on the street dancing and celebrating that is dead because of their own perspective of what understanding the whole thing about Buhari. You understand now? So what we are saying, look, we should understand when you are awake, when to leave, and understand who are to be appointed. And you should know who are your critical thinkers, who are your strategists, who are your loyalists, you understand now, who can easily betray you. So you should start, even if you are weak, you should know when to change. Let me set an example for you. Let me show you an example during Buhari period. So the use of FCT.
Abdullahi, let us take a pause. You're getting very emotional. I understand where your passion, and of course, I want you to take a pause as we take a call and bring in Duke to answer the Aisha question. Yeah. Hello? Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name, please, and where you're coming from?
My name is Sebastian. I'm calling from Epoma.
Ooh, Epoma, that's where I went to school. But Bosha. Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Quickly, I want to appreciate Mr. Abdullahi for what he has been saying. When somebody is being sincere about an issue, we need to appreciate that. First of all, I appreciate you, sir. Good morning, sir.
Morning to you.
Really, the issue on ground is just the reality of life. He has disappointed the majority of Nigerians. That's why many people are not even thinking, are not taking it easy that we lost him this way. Because the way and manner he promised us, we hope on him, and there was a big disappointment in all of these issues. So that's why it's like this. So Mr. Ibrahim, Mr. Abdullahi, once again, thank you for the charity. I was about saying that was your last statement. Thank you very much. Madam,
Akinboy. Okay, so we'll take a pause from Abdullahi, and I asked the same question or refer to the statement by Aisha asking Nigerians to forgive her husband that he told her on his deathbed over and over, and insisted that if it doesn't make it, that she should tell Nigerians to forgive him. I want your take and reaction on that as we take a look at his legacy.
To me, first of all, I think it's a statement coming too late. The president has left power for 2 years, and 2 years we've seen 2 of his aides written books illustrating his government and what the perception is and all of that. He has sat down to reflect. I for one was praying that he shouldn't die. He should live to see what he kept on ground for Nigerians. So to me, I'm not even happy that he died. 2 years is enough for him to have apologized to Nigerians directly. Jonathan had all the opportunity to fight Buhari, but he said, for the sake of Nigerians, let him take a bow. If Buhari has stayed 2 years, a year, and discovered that, look, because of, let us not even say him as a person, but because of the people he brought into government, he failed, he would have apologized directly to Nigerians. The wife coming out to say that, I like her, right from the inception of his failure. She started crying foul. Look, this way you're going, it will fail. And she was cajoled into becoming a full housewife. The first time we didn't have a first lady performing optimally to the effect of empowering women in his administration. That was also a huge failure at his own side. So I think that apology, Nigerians are forgiving him. Nigerians are easy people. We've moved on for a long time. He left powers. We are battling with what he kept in place. So for that forgiveness, I think, to me, Nigerians are forgiving him. Sir, and don't also blame the people you saw on the street jubilating. Buhari's regime, 8 years without war, recorded lots of killings in these countries. People lost properties, people lost a whole lot of things. I once said to people that, you see all these ministers around Buhari, immediately he leaves, their name will die. And have you heard any of them named today?
So let us take a pause to take a call. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name, please, and where are you calling from?
This is Moses. I'm calling from Benue State.
Okay, Moses, go ahead. Let's have your take.
I want to appreciate you people for this very topic. Now, the problem of Nigeria as a whole, whether a good person come in to rule, just the way Buhari came in that time to help Nigeria out, but the power surrounding the government, right now, is facing the same thing. So, the issue of Buhari, I think it came that time to do well for us. But the power, the cabals that control this government is the problem. He never failed us. He failed us in the sense that he could not stand his ground. He allowed them to tell him or to give him directives on things he should do. That is where he failed us. So Nigeria, if we want to get it right, we must keep the cabals issue out. If you want to rule very well, keep these cabals out and do what you want to do. Definitely you have to step on people's toes to work well. If you don't step on their toes, you will dance to their tune. Thank you so much for this program.
Thank you so much for calling. Yes.
Let me. Okay. So so I think she has been a fair person, and nature is going to reward her adequately. If you look at this woman again, she has the sympathy. She felt the failure of her husband. She was helpless to bring him out from what the last caller called the cabal that kept him in that kind of tight situation, coupled with his age, and they turned Nigeria to what it is today. Lessons are so many lessons to be learned from Buhari's legacy. So many lessons to be learned.
So there is a lessons that's the next, and that's the final point of our discussion. That is where we are going now. Now that you've started, I wanted to actually ask Abdullahi to let us begin to look into the lessons learned. Just like you, Abdullahi, did mention leaders of today. The take from the good and the bad of that era, the Buhari era. And yes, we want to actually focus on the lessons that can be taken from the legacy of this man, Buhari. And of course, we're taking a look at some of the things things we expected from a leader as strong. I remember the late Victor Waifo, when Buhari visited Benin, there was a song that he made for Buhari, and he called him the Rock of Gibraltar. A man so astute, a man with so much history, so much feathers on his shoulder, and yet when Nigerians wanted him to make the rules, somehow some of our expectations were cut short. Let us now take a look at the lessons learned. What are the messages you think? What do you believe that the leaders of today, the youth of tomorrow, can learn from this? Taking a look at expectations that were not met going forward from this story. But before you answer that, let us take a call. Hello? Hello?
good morning, Captain TV. Hello?
What's your name, please? Where are you calling from?
My name is Abakar, calling you from Gwagwalada.
Please, Abakar, go ahead.
I appreciate you people in the studio.
Thank you.
You have highlighted some of the legacies of the former president, President Muhammadu Buhari. As in the life of every human being, he had his pluses and minus. He has made huge contribution to his fatherland. He has his shortcomings, personal inadequacies, and even he recorded failures. But by and large, the citizens of Nigeria, they should have a spirit of forgiveness. If you are a student of scripture and contemporary history, in the scripture we have the parable of a prodigal child. And we have prodigal leaders in Nigeria. We have to give them a chance to turn a new leaf. We should pray for them. He has gone, he has left it. We hope a positive side of him will be sustained. And it is wrong for somebody who is in position of leadership to say somebody, what do you call them, the Kappa, are turning you around. You are not a true leader. If you are a genuine leader, you can assert your authority. Thank you for a short of time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, the phone lines are still open. We have extended time on the show this morning as we pay tribute to our fallen leader. All right, let us, I want you, before the call came in, give Abdullahi the opportunity to give us a little bit of schooling on what we can take out of all of this.
You see, number one, all about leadership is not dream and mission. At that material time, do you have the capacity to deliver and drive your dream with all strengths? You have a dream and mission. Do you have what it takes to deliver? That is number one. You must look at this. And if you don't have the capacity to deliver that material time, please don't go into political agreement between citizens and you as a leader.
Exactly.
Number one. Number two, the moment you are given that trust is not about the people around you. It's about you yourself. You must choose the best 11 that can win this game for your team. No matter how weak, how unpopular is a player, if he will give you the expected goal to win a particular game politically and particularly in an African perspective, please go for that person, not name. Number two, Nigeria as a nation should not be driven by sentiment and emotion. We should be driven by political ideology and philosophical thought that are progressive and sensitive to every one of us as Nigeria, so that everybody can key in into a simple mantra: this is our nation. At the end of the day, you look at the government have been cajoled to be a government based on what established by sentiment, nepotism, tribalism, you understand now, sentiment, and the really core of the mission of President Muhammadu Buhari coming into the political arena at that material time was not achieved. It was entirely lost. So they wanted to make, and let me tell you, it's just like President Buhari was the Okonkwo of our time. If you read Things Fall Apart.
Things Fall Apart.
Yes. At this time, the center can no longer hold. You understand now? The Falcon cannot hear the Falconist. They failed, those around him failed to hear him and agree with him what we are here for. At the end of the day, he also failed to listen to them. So the whole thing gets scattered.
I'll take a pause there as we take this call. Hello, good morning. What's your name, please?
Good morning to you, Ma. Good morning, my elders at the studio. You are on to SND calling from Lagos.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Ma. Let me quickly appreciate Captain TV and also appreciate the guests at the studio, my elders, and I appreciate each and every
points they made. Also, my sincere condolence to Nigerians and the entire family of the late General, former head of state, and then 2 times civilian, president. Sometimes I ask myself, you remember I always ask, are we for rain? Are we for rain? So I don't want to say much, but this is a very good time and very good example to our leaders to have what I consider as SWOT in their hearts. That is showing, SWOT analysis, showing weakness, opportunity, and strength. You ask me why did I say so? Ever since 2014, 2015, when it comes to health issue, Mr. President traveled out of Nigeria. Even before Mr. President, most of our leaders traveled out of Nigeria because of the health. While we have the resources, we have all what it takes to have the kind of facilities, the health facilities, the visits there outside Nigeria. But they don't have the mind, rather, or I don't know how to put it, to come and have that kind of facilities. So they save the money they use to travel abroad. That's number one. We have the strength. So when you look at the weakness, education is a key in every aspect of living. So why are we traveling our children abroad to go and acquire education while we have all the facilities, we have the resources?
So 2 things that the caller has mentioned as we take the gains that we're trying to actually
the lessons,
look at the lessons to be learned from the legacy left by Buhari. I still want to come back to you before I get to Duke. I really want you to take a look and respond to what the last caller just said. The fact that, again, we do remember while Buhari was in power, the amount of times he traveled out of the nation for treatment. We remember there was one that was over 100 days or thereabout.
About 7 months, roughly 7 months.
Yes. Then again, unfortunately, his passing actually came outside the shores of Nigeria, and we're told he traveled out of the nation for treatment. And now we had to bring the body back as we expect him to be interred today. He also mentioned education, leaders taking your children out of the nation to other shores for schooling, while we as Nigerians who vote them in struggle to even pay school fees for primary to secondary, and not to talk about university. Those are some of the views I want you to put into your analysis as you talk about the lessons to be learned from his legacy.
You see, I say, do your haze when the sun is it shines at its peak. As I'm still talking to you today, let me tell you paradoxically that General Abdullahi was a bedmate in that London hospital to Buhari.
Same.
Yar'Adua died in Saudi Arabia. You see, we use this to look at it. I'm a realist to the core, sentiment apart. If you fail to do what is expected at the right time, it is not the project that failed you, it is you that failed the project. How? He has failed not as a president. President Muhammad Buhari has failed as Buhari himself. This is a philosophical thought I want people to understand. Because he has this inborn natural built leader in him that have a vision and a mission with the lion's stride that he want to achieve it, and he has given to him. He failed as Buhari because this is what we know him for. Where is the medical facilities for you? For example, we are not expecting to step out of Nigeria for any medical tourism. That is number one. Because of his philosophical understanding and the way we read him and we understand him and we rated him. Number one. Number two, looking at his health challenges as a president for the first 4 years, if I were him, I would use the next 4 years to build a state-of-the-art medical facility in Nigeria that you have no second to it on earth. He has the opportunity to do that.
But that didn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
Okay. So I want to give Duke, I want Duke now to step in as you take a breather to respond to all of this. We're talking about the lessons learned. Again, please do not forget those dropped by the last caller in terms of health and education. What should the leaders, our present leaders, those in power now, and of course the youth of tomorrow who aspire to become leaders of this nation, what they can learn from this. But before then, let us take a call. Hello?
Hello, good morning, ma.
Good morning. What's your name, please, and where you're calling from?
My name is Cletus. I'm calling from Kogi State.
Please go ahead.
Please, I'm very grateful. I sincerely want to thank Mr. Abdullahi for all his contributions. Buhari is a failure. This man did not have a leadership blood in his body. I remember 2015, one of the campaigns, there was an interview he had with Abdullahi, arguing with Mr. Sokoto of Voice of America, outside section. This man said that if he did not win election, something will happen. Mr. Sokoto asked him in outside language, if I choose a river, only I will do Saru. So the man asked him, what will happen if they should wait till then? We thank God for giving us good luck, Jonathan, the executive president of that time, who accept defeat, but you don't want bloodshed in Nigeria.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, that's our call from Kogi State. Again, we're taking a look at the legacy of our late president. At this point, we're actually taking a look at lessons learned from his life. And of course, I'm giving you the opportunity to have a say.
Okay, well, the first thing in my mind as we're talking about facilities, not only health, but predominantly looking at the characteristics of our leaders. They would have been a health of the heart facility, health facility in Nigeria, even if it is one. Buhari today would have been taken care of in that facility in our country. That is one. Number two, for 8 years, it was predominantly an era of insecurity. So the present administration, as let me say, as it is doing to 70%, should concentrate, should not leave this fight for insecurity. They should leave a legacy of eradicating mostly banditry and kidnapping. These are the lessons we should learn about insecurity. Our nation is still not fully secured, without despising the efforts of this present government and the military. That is two. Number three, appointments. Buhari for 8 years refused to acknowledge the insensitivity, low performance of his cabinet. There were Nigerians, far better Nigerians, that supported him, that would have been able to man positions and make changes. Buhari left them. We went to another administration again, where we are seeing so many redundant ministers doing nothing, cutting away with public funds. Every month they are paid, every month they are catered for. The president should quickly begin to look into that. Even if it takes us to streamline the few ones that can deliver this economy, it will be better for Nigerians. Number four, what I want to call sectionalism, appointments. Buhari did the same mistake by appointing people from the north, predominantly Katsina. Today, this government, in people's perception, is still repeating. They said, where is that entity called Nigeria? Like my elder brother has said, when you win election, when you don't perform, it is for you. You think you failed the nation. Of course, we bear the brunt, but you failed yourself. The analysis, widespread analysis coming out from the legacy of our late president is not worth it. Nigerians are supposed to People are even angry, including me. I told my wife this morning that I'm going to work. Why should I stay at home? Nigeria would have lost lots of economic transactions today, mourning a leader that didn't give us his best. He had all the opportunities to give us. So there's a lot to learn. Lastly, or fourthly, age. The president today should also know that he is not a young...
The present president.
The present president.
Okay.
He's not a young man. And like I said, Buhari came to power, had nothing to lose. He had lived life. He was in his 70s. He has acquired. We have the same president today. Who they even share little characteristics. Tinubu is also resilient.
Yes. Do you please, will you just pause a little so we can take a call? Hello, good morning. What's your name and where you calling from?
It says SMB is back. Sorry, it was before I round up my credit, I went out of credit.
Okay.
Let me quickly go to the point I want to make. For now, the late president has all the opportunity among the SWOT analysis I made mention, but now it has become a history. It has gone for a journey of no return. That is on that. But what I want our present leaders to look into, they should also focus on this angle of health, education, security, and then using our resources towards the right direction for the benefit of Nigeria.
Okay.
Because as of now, presently, believe me, there is gap of communication between the government and the people. And the electorate, and that gap must be bridged. That's on that. And then the issue of religious and ethnicity. Also, this is one area where the government should focus on, so that at least everybody should feel like this is my country. I have the right to do what is right, and I have the right to avoid at least what will bring any menace in the society.
Okay, we appreciate you. Duke, we're almost rounding up. You have just a few minutes before I go back to Abdullahi.
Yeah, so I think I was going to talk about the fourth one is about age. And you don't have anything to lose. Bring people of high integrity wherever they come from, whatever political party they belong to, and deliver the opportunity, the once opportunity that is given to you, to make sure that Nigerians will be very friendly the day God calls you back. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Abdullahi, you have something to add? Let me take this call first. Yeah, hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning. I'm calling from Lagos.
What's your name?
My name is David.
Okay, David, go ahead.
Yeah, we are talking about the legacy of Buhari. And I think in 1976 or 78 also, he was the commissioner of petroleum. Almost some money was stolen from that place. And during his tenure as president, he a lot of people know as a boy against indiscipline. So when he came again as the president of Nigeria, the only president who said a stranger that coming from to the Nigerian border should be given the visa. And at the same time, I think he collected, in 2016 or 2017, collected 1 billion for security vote to buy equipment for Nigeria. Before he came in, where it's 187 naira, before he left, where it's almost 200 and something naira. So, Nigeria, we have a lot of stories to talk about President Buhari.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, Abdullahi, we're rounding up. We don't have much time. So, your final take and tribute as the late president is laid to rest today.
To every leader
we're rounding up.
Of every generation, I would like to end as I started. I said it's an end of an era, and it's the last man standing. Why did I say this? Finally, down over there, he is there, we are not there. What will he tell the like of Sardauna? What will General Muhammad Buhari, former president, tell the like of Sardauna, of blessed memory? Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Hassan Kassina? What will he tell Idiabo about Nigeria? This is a heartfelt disappointment. My condolence goes to the family. Whatever we do, we should think we have a record and people to give record before God. And finally, I will tell to every Nigerian, we have a great lesson to learn. His ancestors, what will he tell them? I said, today, President Tinubu is representing a generation, is representing a nation, a constituency, a family, his ancestors, the Yorubas, every nation. So if he fails, he has failed all this nation, and all this nation have failed. And history will never forgive them. Thank you very much.
Yes, indeed. As we begin to round up this morning, I want to appreciate my guest, who took time to come help us, in this moment of mourning, talk about the end of an era, and look at the legacy of our late former president. And of course, appreciate those of you who called in to have your say on the issue this morning. A lot has been said. A lot will still be said concerning what's on ground. Like my guests have said, posterity is always there to judge. Each and every one of us, posterity will judge. Our focus, the leaders of today, those in power today, there's a lot to learn from the Buhari era. And of course, as we often bid him farewell, there's still a lot that has happened in this journey. The journey as we follow him home, which will culminate today. So we want to appreciate all Nigerians who, in one way or another, have been calm. In one way or another, have contributed to nation building. In one way or the other, have a hope of being one of the leaders that will sit and channel this nation to the greatness that we desire. I greet you towards the future that we hope for. There is that one that will lead, and of course we will follow. Our prayers for Nigeria as we mourn at this time. Our prayers go to Aisha, his wife, and his entire family, and the people of Daura. We pray for peace during this period from 12 to 2 p.m. when his body will be interred. We pray for peace and hope for the best for all of us. My name is Anire Binitie. Tomorrow is another date on the press, and of course we'll follow this through till Friday, and we want you to be our guest every morning so you can also be part of the conversation. On the next time, stay blessed. Bye for now.